Hi, this is the Tip You on the App show. My name is Levi, and I am an Uber driver. Let's jump right into it. Basically, I'd say 1 out of every 3 passengers wants to know why I drive an Uber. I think it's like their way of politely asking me, like, what happened? Why are you in an Uber? As if I've done something wrong in my life. I'm being punished. There must be some sort of stigma or shame. Maybe they're worried that I'm not making enough money in my life. I don't know. But that's kind of how it is. There's this idea of like, you're driving an Uber, something must be wrong. Nothing's wrong. Number one's the money. You can make a good living driving an Uber. You're not going to get rich. It's not like you're generating wealth. You're not like an entrepreneur, investing money and making, 1,000x over whatever money you put into it or time you put into it. Ultimately, there's a couple of ways to, game it up a little bit and make a little bit more money by doing a couple of things differently. But for the most part, you make a good wage and kind of move on. In fact, I can make probably 60 to 70,000, maybe more if I worked 60 hours a week driving my Uber. It's unhealthy to maybe sit and drive that long. I know a lot of truck drivers do it, maybe taxi drivers do it, but the money is enough to pay all of my bills. I can pay my mortgage. I can put food on the table. I cover the cost of my car. So yeah, it's just enough to kind of sustain my life. Some people, maybe falsely, but they say a minimum wage job pays more. And I can see it sometimes when you're Uber driving, you're not getting any rides. You're sitting there and you didn't get paid, but like maybe you only earned $5 for that hour. But there are other hours when you make $50 or $60. So on average, you kind of have a pretty good sense of what you make. And it's more than minimum wage. Okay, number 2, I get my freedom, my time. That's the most important, probably satiating, emotional aspect of driving an Uber. I never appreciated the freedom of saying, I don't want to go into work this morning at 8. Instead, I want to take the morning and have coffee with my wife or whatever, and then I'll start at 9. Or I want to work all weekend and get paid all weekend. And yeah, so I can do that. My time is my time. I can work 12 hours a day for Uber driving and do that for 365 days a year, nonstop. I'd probably make a lot more than 60 or 70,000. I don't think I'd be alive at the end of that, but I could if I wanted to. Uber will let you do it. I can also take months off. I can turn off the app, not tell anyone, and then kind of go back to it whenever I want. I did that before. I've taken months off and I turned the app on. It's like I never left. So I really enjoy that aspect of it, the freedom of my time. And isn't time really the most important thing in our lives? Yeah, it'd be nice to be rich. If you do rideshare, you're a gig worker, DoorDash, Instacart, you're going to make some money, but nowhere near what other people make. And I'm okay with that. But yeah, you get your time. A surprising bonus, the third aspect of driving an Uber that I didn't realize would be the people they meet, the stories. I love meeting the people that I meet. I'd say 9 out of every 10 people that I meet driving my Uber. I think there's an intimacy. Well, I know there is. There's an intimacy. People are anonymous. I mean, we meet each other so briefly. I only know their first name. They only know my first name. We're going to ride together for maybe, 10, 15 minutes max. It's a short little trip. And we can barely see each other. I've only driven an Uber while people are wearing masks. But even if they weren't wearing a mask, they're in the back seat. It's dark outside a lot of the times. And I look back there and I can barely see their eyes. That's it. So we don't know each other, but we're in this intimate, close environment. You're in my car. There's this natural social obligation to kind of say, let's get to know each other just a little bit. It makes it feel a little bit safer. I know you, you know me. And that kind of goes back to that question, why they ask, why do you drive an Uber? Or how much money do you make? Or, what happened? Or something along those lines. I think that's their way of checking. They want to get to know me. Now, we're not going to become best friends. We're not going to have like this long lasting relationship. Occasionally that does happen. I do have some passengers that I have become longtime friends with. But for the most part, it's this brief little moment. Some people think it's like the way a bartender is. You sit at the bar and you get a chance to kind of just over a glass of beer or shot of whiskey or whatever, tell the bartender your struggles. And the bartender kind of goes with that and they listen, and that's kind of like that. But you're face to face at the bar, and you might go back to that bar and become a regular. Norm! Some people say it's kind of like sitting in a priest's confessional because we can't really see each other. So we're able to be a little bit more open and honest for whatever reason. But you typically go to your priest at the confession, right? That priest knows you. You're just using that as a medium to pretend like you're talking to God or something. I don't know. I'm not Catholic. I'm not trying to besmirch it, but people talk about it that way. But again, you still know that person. Being in an Uber is completely different. You're in my car. You're in my environment. And because there's that intimacy, there's the ability to be almost anonymous. The conversation gets deep and real and authentic really quickly. And I like that. I want real human connections. I don't want to live on the fringe of polite society where nobody really knows anybody. Everybody's hidden behind a fake social media profile. So when people ask me what I make and why do I do what I do or whatever, I try to tell them my story. I don't make the ride about me per se. I want to talk to them about them and learn their stories. But yeah, that's why I do it that way. And so the conversation gets real and gets important and valuable, and we get a chance to bond, only briefly. In fact, that's why one of my passengers said it sounds like the best part of a blind date. You're setting up a blind date. Before you agree to that blind date, you talk. You get to know each other just enough to say, yeah, I like you and you like me. So it's not arguments kind of conversations or debates. They're just inquisitive, I want to get to know you conversations. And I like that. So money, time, and those conversations and those connections, that's why I like Uber driving. Here's some other quick things that, are kind of neat to me that maybe are worthwhile to discuss, but maybe not on this pod, but I'll quickly list them. I like the data behind Uber driving. I like tracking my miles and seeing what parts of the city do I earn more money. That's kind of interesting and neat. I went to graduate school for, business and economics and stuff. So I like that. I like that data side. I like the gamification of Uber. I know it's addicting and I know it's not healthy, but I still like it. I like that they have red hotspots where you can earn an extra $1 on the map. And I go, I got to get there. How many rides will you complete this weekend's quest? The fact that they name it a quest is proof they're trying to gamify it. I like being in my car. It's kind of my space. It's not like working at a place that's not mine. So I keep it really clean. I like setting it up. I like managing it. It's like an asset to me. So that's kind of fun. I love listening to podcasts, games on the radio, audiobooks. I do that between rides. When the passenger's in the car, I listen to jazz. But when they leave, which is half the time I'm online, nobody's in the car but me, I can listen to whatever I want. I like meeting the other gig workers. There's kind of like that nod and that wave. I like seeing each other at the gas station, maybe getting some coffee, hearing their story. I really like connecting online. That's why I keep making content. That's why I decided to start making this channel. So I enjoy the social aspect of not only meeting my passengers, but meeting other gig workers. I like it. It's a lot of fun. I guess the final thing, I like Uber being my story. I feel unique. I feel special. I know there's millions of Uber drivers out there, so it's not like I'm the only one. People do rideshare, Instacart, you name it. But I did come from a place where I was working as an executive at a company. I made good money, Am I taking a step back by Ubering? But when I tell people I'm an Uber driver, they get inquisitive, just like my passengers. People are kind of like, you Uber drive? And I own it. I own it, just like this show. I own it. I brag about it. I just go head first in, maybe the shallow end of the pool, but I go head first in, I dive right in, and I just say, yeah, I'm an Uber driver.